Hello everyone, I'm Bruffy1322 and this video serves as an update to the fastest compact video where I show the best fully upgraded compact cars in terms of lap time. For all the information you need about this series, check the original compacts video, but otherwise let's see where the new Weevil and Brioso 300 fall into that list. And first up we've got the Brioso 300, which is taking the top spot for the slowest compact in the game. The Dilettante is no longer the slowest vehicle in the compacts class because the Brioso gets a lap time of 1 minute 24.1, which is over 1 second per lap slower than the Dilettante, which is kind of crazy. I never thought we'd ever see a compact car that was slower than the Dilettante. Keep in mind that the hood modification for the Brioso 300, which is actually at the back of the car, adds traction like a spoiler. So if you want the quickest Brioso 300 you can get, even though it's not that quick, you need to add that because it's basically like a spoiler. It gives you more traction around the corners, just like spoilers for every other car. And as we can see, obviously the Dilettante in 12th place, but then we'll take a bit of a jump from the Dilettante in 12th. Obviously, if you want to see all the vehicles in between these two or further on in the top 5 as well, you can check out the original 2020 compacts video. But in 7th place, we've got the Blister, and then just ahead of it in 6th place, just missing out on the top 5, is the Weevil with a lap time of 1 minute 16.3. It's interesting how it's sort of on that same sort of pace as the Blister, the Issy, those kind of vehicles. It's not that much slower than the top 5 with the Panto and the Rhapsody taking those 4th and 5th positions, but it is an interesting one to drive because it does have quite long braking distances, which makes it quite fun to drive, fun to race with as well, because most vehicles in this game brake too quickly to be as interesting as they could be. So that's quite an interesting part to it. But obviously one of the main negatives is that you need the maximum suspension, which induces the camber that you can see on the wheels. That makes it go quicker, so it follows the trend that we've been seeing with a lot of these vehicles, that the camber makes the car quicker, and it's by a good 3 to 4 seconds per lap, the difference from maximum camber and maximum suspension to the leaving it stock. So it's certainly worth having, but obviously it doesn't look very good in most situations, and you also get the problem where you might have seen it during the footage here where the tyres clip through the wheel arches and things like that. So it's just always a little bit messy, but most of the compacts that we've seen lately have had this where the camber makes the vehicles quicker. You can obviously see it with the Club as well. There were some vehicles where the camber made the vehicle slower, and then there was a few vehicles where the camber had no effect on performance at all, and I wish that was still the case. I wish the camber had no effect on performance and it was just an addition that you could add on if you wanted to for a visual perspective. But as it is right now, a lot of these vehicles that have camber are actually quicker with them, and the Weevil is another one of those vehicles as well. Obviously, as you can see from the comparison, it's not doing anything against the Club. The Club is just so much quicker. But yeah, that is where the Weevil and the Brioso 300 are. The Brioso 300 does also have camber as well, but there was a mistake in its handling files that mean that it's not applied, so you don't need to worry about that, and it's probably a good mistake. So yeah, the Weevil was actually released today, but both the Brioso 300 was able to be gotten for free earlier on around the Christmas period, and the Weevil has been able to be acquired from English Dave for doing some missions in free roam as well. So both of these vehicles have been available to access for a while, but the Weevil was just made available to purchase today, and the Brioso will be made available to purchase at a later date. But I thought I would just put the lap times out there since both cars are available. And yeah, we've got a new slowest vehicle in the compacts class, kind of crazy. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this one. Thank you guys so much for the support. We are on the mend, but it is a slow process, so I'm glad I was able to get this video out. Do consider supporting on Patreon or become a YouTube member if you want testing results early, and remember to read the description for more info, comment with your thoughts, like the video if you enjoyed or found it helpful, and subscribe for more. Thank you all so much for watching, I really do appreciate it, and I'll see you next time.